Well, good evening. Well, good evening and welcome.
Recording in progress.
Good evening and welcome to the city council meeting on June 17th, 2024. With that, I'll put that roll call, please.
Luther. Crow.
Here.
Sutherland.
Here.
Yanko.
Here.
McCullough. Here. Schwebbs.
Here.
Gens. Solberg.
Here.
Schlug.
Here.
Erdman.
Here.
Sommerfeld.
Thank you. No special recognitions this evening. Anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Now, your opportunity, Robin, please.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from that last meeting.
Is there a second to that motion? Go ahead.
I second that motion.
Okay, motion, Matthew with second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. No public hearings tonight. Under public comments is a portion of our meeting where anybody can speak 3 minutes or less on agenda items for the evening. So if you'd like to speak, please come to the podium. The last call for public comments. Close public comments. Move on with the rest of our meeting. No unfinished business. Made under new business. 6A. EIGP City Hall HVAC grant project update. Megan, would you like to take the podium, please?
We're doing this old school, so the slides are in the packet, so you can kind of follow along with me as I go through here. Just want to give you guys an update on our HVAC project here at City Hall. It was partially funded by a grant from the Office of Energy Innovation through the Public Service Commission. This project, we are looking to continue work that we've been doing on the HVAC system here for energy efficiency and just modernizing and being able to remotely control the system versus having to be here on a specific computer inside the building, being able to do it remotely from anywhere you can internet access. So the things that we worked on in this project are finished up the last 2 air handling units, installing variable frequency drives and economizers, putting on new controllers and sensors for our hot water system, the hot water coils, the fan coil units, and then some radiant sealing panel work. So a lot of temperature sensors and controllers were part of this project. We originally applied for this grant in January of 2022, and we're one project below the funding line during that grant cycle. So they encouraged us to reapply for the next funding cycle, which we did in January of 2023. And then in April of that year, we were awarded $141,025 from PST to go towards this project. Grant period started last August and will end at the end of this month. We bid out the project and selected a contractor last fall, and we began work inside the building here at the end of January, and then completed that installation in early May of this year. So one of the things that we have to do is update our elected officials on progress, and then also we'll be hosting a facility managers meeting next week, Tuesday morning. So facility managers from different businesses across Menomonie will come and we'll give an update on this project. And then we'll give them a tour of the mechanicals here at City Hall and allow for networking questions and stuff like that. The objectives of this project from our grant application are basically to save money, save energy, and educate the public. So those are the things we accomplished in this project. The total project cost was $221,495. The grant, like I said, was for $141,025, leaving a cash and in-kind contribution from the city of $80,470. That's primarily cash. It's about $75,000 in cash and just $4,000 or $5,000 in in-kind staff time. We're estimating rebates from Focus on Energy and Excel Energy to be around $2,250. And then as far as annual energy savings for this building, we're estimating a reduction of about 20,000 kilowatt hours, which is about 7% of our annual usage in 2022. And then about 2,400 therms, which is about a 10% reduction from our 2022 use here, for an annual cost savings of around $4,765, which is not wildly impressive given the dollars that we have spent, but that is only the energy savings and cost savings from the physical equipment itself. Doesn't really take into account, we were able to quantify the ability now to have this online monitoring where we can actually see where everything's at, being able to change those things. Many of the things previously we couldn't change even if we wanted to. So a lot of that scheduling and monitoring and being able to, if there's an alarm, you can look at it right away versus waiting until you see it and get into work the next day. We anticipate that there'll be a lot of cost savings through that, but it's not quantifiable through a spreadsheet and a model from Excel. And as part of this project as well, about a month ago, we brought to council an extra project for some valves that needed replacing. There's about 40 valves they identified that were leaking and malfunctioning, that either completely didn't work, were leaking various parts. So that will also increase our savings by fixing those as well. They're going to be starting on that soon here, on that work. There is a little snapshot of our online system in your packet. That's what it looks like when we log in. Kind of gives a dashboard of what everything's running at, what temperatures. You can click in. There's so much detail in this. Really awesome. One is example of the floor plan. That's the other picture on that slide. That's the first floor cell, so it shows like council chambers, what each thermostat is running at. Anecdotally, for my office right across the hall, last summer was 64 degrees on a regular basis. And now it's 71 and it's fantastic. So very much worth your investment. Dave Hagel will agree. He doesn't have to hear me complain about how cold I am all the time. And then also in your packet is a copy of the case study that we created for this project as part of the grant, and that will live on our website. And then there's a couple of graphs to close out the presentation in your packet. One is the monthly electrical and natural gas usage for City Hall. This is in kBTUs, just so I can keep them both on the same graph. But generally speaking, the story there is that we are working at decreasing the amount of usage here. We can expect that to continue. The most recent data we have from our Excel energy bills is through the beginning of May. So it's a couple of month lags. We'll start to see this project in action here over the next couple of months as we move along this summer. And then the last graph is just a graph of our progress towards our 2050 carbon-free goal. So that was set by the council in 2020 to that all municipal buildings would use carbon-free energy by 2050. So the navy line with the squares on that is our actual greenhouse gas emissions or our carbon emissions. And then the gray line with the triangles is our kind of goal line. So there's some interim goals that were set during that resolution. So if we follow those linearly, you can say that word, to 2030, 2040, and 2050, that's kind of where we would expect to be at. So for 2023, we're like right there, we're super close. So we're on the right track and we'll hopefully keep making progress. With that, are there any questions?
So like with the 40-some valves that are being replaced, it was mentioned that those were original building and needed to be replaced anyway. Have you looked at similar other pieces of equipment that were at or near end of life to give a cost comparison over replacing them with 70-year-old technology compared to replacing them with what we have replaced them with?
That's a good question. We're following the recommendations from Martindale, our contractor.
Yeah, they went through every valve
Yeah.
in building there.
I guess my question though is, we could have replaced, stuff that got replaced on this list. I assume some of it needed to be replaced anyway. We chose to go with the more efficient option as opposed to whatever was being used in 1958 when the building was built. Any idea? So what my question is, any idea on the cost saving or extra cost going with the better option?
Not at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be interesting to see. Yes.
I mean, a lot of them, a lot of them were just stuck open, so.
Yeah.
Megan mentioned her office. We were dumping cold air in that office consistently. So there were some areas that we were kind of over conditioning. So this should.
Anybody else? Lee?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I think this was a great project. After I spent 37 years at NSP, I worked for Focus on Energy for almost 9 years. And I had 22 school districts in local government, 4 counties that I was doing projects like this on. And it's amazing what can be done in some of these buildings. Even ones that look good, weren't good. It was awesome, really exciting things. And I think the dollars are great, but what Megan has talked about, her office is an example, is to me even more of a benefit that we've been comfortable employees and what does that do to our work efficiency? So as a savings, you aren't gonna be able to determine, but I am very pleased with what's done here. And a lot of people involved.
Yeah, this was a big group effort, and I'm just the one giving the presentation, but a lot of the technical work with the JK and meeting with the contractors and dealing with them for access and all that, and to David Schofield for helping with the management of the bid documents, all the things. That was a lot of help. It was a big team effort. So.
Okay, anything else? Okay, thank you, Megan. We don't need to take any action on that tonight, so we can move on to the next business item, which is 6B. Request from the Community Service Department to sell or dispose of miscellaneous surplus items, either Dave or Dave. So, Dave, you can take it and give it to Dave.
I can take it. So we have a number of items that we'd like to get rid of. I'll bring your attention to the giant blue paint truck. We got that as a surplus from Fort McCoy or the Air Force one there, but that was already a surplus once. I would be impressed if someone wants it. So that's one of the reasons why the motion is working the way it is that if we can't sell it, we would request permission to dispose of unnecessary. So these items are things that may have value to somebody else. They no longer have value to us.
It's already blue, maybe so use it or maybe the county. So,
I'll tell Kelly.
all right, so with this, we need a motion. So, I'm sorry, we got you, Matt, go ahead.
Just a quick question. Is there any risk for liability for selling this kind of stuff if something fails and someone gets injured, can they come back at us and say?
No, it'd be sold, or sold as is. So, okay, sure.
Jen?
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the county service department to sell or dispose of surplus items as presented.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second to that? Randy?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. 6C, special events request for spring stop and shop. And I know Kyle is in the audience tonight too. If we have any questions, we can read the rules. Otherwise, if you would like to pass this forward, we can do that also, either way. So, right.
I guess since this is a new event, it'd be,
Want to make a motion to waive the rules?
so I make a motion to waive the rules, so.
Is there a second to that motion? Chad?
Second, Mr. Allen.
Okay, motion made and seconded to waive the rules. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Kyle, come on up to the podium and push the button down so you can speak into the microphone. I think Ryan's probably got a question or two, or maybe you can just tell us a short overview of the event.
So last year I started my own small business and I kind of seen the struggle of the struggle of opening a small business, and especially one that does vendor shows. And like it would be a perfect option to give small businesses another opportunity. Community members to come and do something.
Is it, I didn't notice, was there a time schedule on here?
Starts at 10 a.m.
10 to 7?
Yeah.
Okay, but it said 10 a.m. to, oh, it's 10 to
10 to
4.
4.
Yeah. They're on 10 to 4 and then they start set up at 7 a.m.
Oh, I see, that's all. Okay, good. Any other questions for Kyle? Okay, anything else you want to add to that? Okay, oh, Gretchen?
I didn't look at the calendar. What day of the week is that?
It would be a Sunday.
Well, thanks for being here, Kyle, this evening, and good luck with your event. If anybody would like to make a motion to support this event, you can do so at this time. Jen?
I make a motion to approve the special event permit for spring stop and shop on May 18th as presented, contingent upon receiving certificates of insurance.
Mary? Mary?
I would like to second Chad's motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of said motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. No budget transfers this evening under mayor's report. Just you may have noticed the sculptures are in town and up. And so that's kind of cool. And other than that, I'll just move around room communications. Chief,
I don't have anything right now. Thank you.
anything from, go ahead. Lay it on us, Laura.
I was in DC recently and on the in a bunch of the city, the trees that are on the berm have a garden, just a small garden, like 3 feet on one side, 3 feet on the other side of the tree. And I just thought it was a really great way to beautify the city. And so I just wanted to put that in people's heads as something we could potentially do.
Very good. Anybody else? Going around the room? Staff? David?
I have 7 to 8 things, but I'll.
Talk slowly, please.
You know, at this point, it doesn't matter anymore. So it maybe took up 14 minutes.
7:17.
Type it.
No, this is 7:17.
Oh.
We're okay.
Oh, good. Okay, so that being said, no more communications or miscellaneous business unless somebody's got something last minute. Okay, moving on. Claims, we want to pay the claims. Revised claims list, I'm sorry, yes, revised claims list is in front of you, so I'd like to pay that this evening. We can make a motion to do so. Okay. Yeah, you know. Now I get it lost.
I'd like to make a motion to pay the revised claims as presented.
Is there a second, Mary, motion? Randy,
I'll second yours.
motion made and seconded to pay the bills. Any discussion?
I have
Oh, we got Laura's hand going up first. Go ahead.
Just noting the police range weapons riot control is there twice. And I'm just wondering if those were just 2 different items or what. But I don't think it's weird.
They were, if I'm recalling correctly, they were 2 different items, and this goes back to 2023 when they had the shooting incident that took place. Council had authorized a budget transfer to be able to make this purchase for the rifles. Money was not exchanged until this year because the rifles did not come into the 2024 year. So although we do have money set aside in our books to cover the costs, because of the way our ledger is set up for 2024, it comes in as an overage. So that's why you're seeing it.
Good explanation. Thank you. Right on.
I was just wondering what the addition on here was for the mayor's computer program, mayor, what it was.
Computer program?
Oh, for the card holder service for the computer programming.
Definitely something I know about.
Yeah. So on the computer program on there. I'm trying to go back and remember, I've been on vacation for the last week, so going back on the bills, so. I will have to double check on the card member services on that program, but we had used some money to purchase like Luxapol services for accounting, and that may have been that payment on there. I don't have the bills right in front of me, but I will get that clarification. Thank you, Ryland, for asking that. You stumped me on that.
So me too, almost. I'm studying IT though, so I'm getting closer to knowing what computer is.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I misspoke.
What?
That is for an Adobe Acrobat programming. Do you have that in front?
Zoom 1 Pro 73829. Is that the one?
Let's double check.
Hardware services.
Yeah, it is. It is for, I misspoke. I thought it was the Adobe because that was right around that price. It is card member service, or excuse me, Zoom 1 Pro annual account for webinar Zoom account. So it's like the same thing for here. So there's all the bills are coming in.
I would have got
Just going
that.
up
Yeah.
So there you go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry for that.
All right. It's all, so we got this. So we have a motion on the floor. Thanks.
We do.
Motion second. Any other discussion on things? Roll call vote, please.
Solberg,
Yes.
Shlou,
Yes.
Brickman,
Yes.
Sommerfeld,
Yes.
Crow,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Yanko,
Yes.
McCullough,
Yes.
Schweppes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have a number of licenses on the list tonight, normal licenses, 2024-25 renewals. If you will note, there are some highlighted ones, those are change of agent. Okay. So that being said, if anybody like to make a motion to support the licenses, we can do so at this time. Laura,
I'll move to approve the license list for June 17th.
all right. Matt,
I'll second that motion.
okay, motion made and seconded, go ahead.
Mark just confirmed that's for the 24 to 25.
Okay.
Matt?
Correct.
Thank you for clarification, Dan. Any discussion? Go ahead, Ryan.
I didn't see it on here, but the old, it was Cahoots downtown.
Okay,
They have changed their business name to La Santa, so they're on the list under La Santa, I believe.
Yeah, right. So that's just Cahoots. Okay, I guess I'm a little surprised that sell or.
No, same business owners, they had a change of agent, but same business owners, and it's just the name of the, what do you call it, the public facing name of the business. The LLC is still the same.
Is Diablo's, let me back up. Are there any licenses that are hanging out there because the business closed and we just haven't retrieved the licenses?
No, only reserve licenses at this point.
We just have reserved licenses, so the businesses that have the parties. Back to us, out there with business.
Okay,
and I know one of the reserve licenses traded their reserve in for one of the real licenses, right? A regular license, so I think we have two reserves.
For
Four. Yeah, we're reserves.
$10,000.
okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion from that? All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor of said motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have a conundrum. We can't,
Cody's not here.
we can't adjourn. Unless somebody wants to make a motion by Matt, is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. All in favor of said motion to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, guys. Have a good evening. Anyone?